to order. Tony, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Do we have any comments tonight? Okay, then I'll need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
second.
Moved by Robin, seconded by Dave to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Brenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We don't have any district goals and leadership activities or bid request items at this time. So we'll move on to our business. Our first item of business is to hear an update from the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Green River on the use of last year's grant request. Brad Rainey.
Good evening. My name is Brad Rainey. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Green River, and just have a really quick presentation, just 2 pictures. Before I jump into that, I just want to thank you all and all of your staff for your wonderful partnership with us and allowing us to serve the children of our community. I have done Parks and Recreation outside of Green River, and this is hands down the best working relationship between a city and a school district that I've ever seen. So thank you so much for your support. Last year at this time, we had a request to do some renovations at Edgewater Park. One was to put pickleball lines down and one was to replace the playground. You all remember what happened shortly after this time last year. So we were hoping to put it in over the summer, but we didn't want to put in a playground with potentially closed signs. So this last fall of 2020, we went out to bid. We got 8 different proposals from 5 different vendors. And we invited a lot of people to come out and vote on what they liked the best. Brenda and her family and Steve came and voted. And this is the playground that we're going to get here. It'll be the first covered wagon playground in Green River. So I just wanted to share this with you. It's going to be installed starting March 30th. So really soon, in time for the warm weather coming up, hopefully. And the week before, the park staff will be removing the old playground. So when it's done and complete, we'd certainly like to invite you all out to we'll do a ribbon cutting. So just wanted to update you on that. And just the next slide, this isn't a grant request yet. I just wanted to preview a project looking possibly to next year. This is Riverside Park that we're looking at overhead. So off to the left is I have a pointer here. Okay. Trona Bridge, footbridge there, and then just this loop. Pretty much everyone enjoys this in town. It's the gateway to the Greenbelt. It's the primary ADA access with the ramps right there in the parking lot to access the Greenbelt and the river. If you've been down there, the concrete's in pretty rough shape. It's in really rough shape. It's expensive to replace concrete. So there's a grant from YDOT that's an 80-20 grant, and we'd like to apply for it for about a $500,000 project. So we'd be looking at $100,000 match, and we're hoping to split it with a rec mill board. So that's an opportunity to turn a little bit of money into a lot of money, and it would replace the sidewalk, and we'd like to add lighting down here to be used into the evening. And it's already an attraction, but would make it more so. We already have grant money to replace the playground here, and then this part of the river is not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be the riverbank. We have a grant to fix up that. So anyways, I just wanted to preview that you don't need to make any decisions or anything. I may be coming next March to ask you specifically for that. And that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Brad, I have one question. One of the things, I know Brenda and I looked at the park, the Edgewater Park, and one of the things that we liked, some of the features was the benches. Is there going to be benches placed in this one, or is that an additional cost?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's not a big deal for us to put benches in if it doesn't come with it.
Okay.
I know I like them with kids
Right,
to
when
be
you
able
take
to have
your
a place to sit.
Little 5-year-old and let them go, you have a place to sit and watch. yeah.
They're a pretty simple thing to
Okay.
install, so.
What about shade covering? That was the other concern.
This doesn't come with
And-
shade covering. Some of the other proposals had some shade built in, but this is the one that people picked, so.
And it'll be placed in the same area the one's at right now, right?
Correct.
So there's kind of a gazebo pretty close to there, if I remember right. Isn't there a cover there? Yeah.
Yeah, and quite a few shade trees, but they can get hot during a few weeks of the of the year here, but
Summer.
yeah. Yeah,
Well, thank you. Thanks for
Okay.
allowing us to
All right.
come and vote on it. It was
all right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Brad. Our next item of business is to consider approval of the City of the Green River request for the 4th session of summer swim lessons. Sherry Schumacher.
Hi, Sherry Schumacher of the Green River Parks and Recreation Department. I just want to echo Brad's gratitude of being able to work with you guys on some of these things, and swimming lessons has been something that we have been able to work on in the past together. This request is to fund the 4th session of swimming lessons that we offer in the summertime. Historically, we've done that session at the Green River Aquatic Center. However, this last year, we weren't able to do that. COVID kind of took a lot of opportunities away from us, but we plan on doing that again this year. So it's swimming is very popular here, especially from a safety aspect and a recreation aspect. We have a river running through our town, and we have a gorge not very far away, and people want their kids to know how to swim. So we try to do that.
I
Thank
make a
you.
motion, we approve this grant request for $6,280.86.
Second. Oh, sorry. Moved by Steve, seconded by Robin. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Our next item is to consider approval for the City of Green River request for the summer day camp program. Katie Duncombe.
Hello, I'm Katie Duncombe with the City of Green River Parks and Recreation Department. So we are asking for funding for transportation for summer day camp and also for some field trip expenses and excursions that we added in this year, would like to add in this year, just to give the kids some more experiences, maybe with music or art. We're just trying to expand and make things better for the kids and just make it educational, but recreational too at the same time. So we're asking for $18,480 this year for the 9 weeks of summer day camp. And in the past, we've averaged about 60 children at summer day camp. And this year we're going to go ahead and open it up to 100. We wanted to do that last year, but we were limited to 45. And we actually ran a very successful full camp last summer. So we were excited about that. Do you guys have any questions about camp or the request?
So this is about a $14,000 increase from last year?
No, last year it was 12,000. So it's a $6,000 increase.
And that primarily covers the field trips and.
Yep, field trips. Yep, and excursions. Or paying for like speakers or somebody like that to come in.
So Chris, if I'm reading this right, we did 11,439 last year. So this is a $4,100 increase roughly. If I'm reading this budget right?
No, we didn't because we had COVID. Fewer
Yeah.
children to
Yeah.
transport and places to go.
I'd make a
Have we motioned this yet?
No,
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion for 18,480.
Okay. Moved by Brenda, seconded by Steve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Katie. And she also has next, consider approval for the City of Green River request for the gymnastics program.
Yes. So our gymnastics program runs mostly during the school year. I do summer camps for gymnastics, and our mats are in major need of repair. Just because I haven't replaced maybe one mat since I've been working there, and that's been like 13 years. So we could use some new mats, and we've just really noticed also with the extensive cleaning that we've been doing, the outsides are getting worn, we're having more tears. But also we house or help with the adaptive PE. They come to us once a week, not only during the school year, but also in the summer. So it's a great partnership, and we're just looking to improve what we have. And there's some mats that need to be gotten rid of. They just don't have the foam that they need to be useful. So, and that request is for about $6,700.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the request from the City of Green River for the gymnastics program for $6,791? Second. Moved by Robin, seconded by Brenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is to consider approval to extend the Green River Challenger League request because of COVID. Donna Tran.
Good evening, board members. You approved last year's 1760 for our Challenger League. And because of COVID, we didn't pertain for safety of our kids. And so I'm just asking if you would extend that to this year, because we have a lot of parents that are really interested in playing this year. So I'm excited to get it started again.
Great. Can we get a motion to approve to extend the Green River Challenger League request for 1760?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dave, seconded by Brenda.
I know I'm behind a head here.
I know, I'm like, it's like, no
Like,
worries. Who said something? Does anybody have any questions?
I'm going to abstain from this because my daughter-in-law's name's on this grant. So just so you
Okay.
know.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain. Thanks.
Motion
Thank you
carries.
so much.
Thank you. It's a great program. Okay, and then 7.06, consider approval of Monroe Elementary School request for soccer goals. Principal Hardman.
Good evening, Rec Board Chair Ashley Castillion, members of the Rec Board. Monroe Elementary is requesting the approval of funds for soccer goals at Monroe Elementary School. So request in the amount of $4,374, not to exceed $4,400. There's also a bid right there if you have any questions.
And where will they go?
So they will go out on our large field. We'll be able to have two different games going. I know a lot of kids are loving to play soccer, so this will give an opportunity for maybe some of the younger kids, K2 to play. I think a lot of times the fourth and fifth graders kind of take over that, and some of those younger guys don't get to go out and play. So we have a large enough field that we really can use that whole field out there, and we'll have those ones as well as then use the smaller ones farther down the field.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve the soccer goals for Monroe for $4,374, not to exceed $4,400? Moved by Robin,
Second.
second by Brenda. Does anybody have questions?
I do. How are you planning on storing them in the summertime?
That's a good question. I was planning on leaving them out there unless there was need of storing them. Then we'll have to.
Yeah, you're going to need to store them because they end up being monkey bars. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kids play on them and damage them. I've seen it at Wolf's Gym or Stadium. So Tony, is there a place we can store them and
No.
Yeah.
protect them?
What we'll do is the maintenance department, Doug, will help us take them down and store them away. It's just same as our other goals.
Okay, so we have a place to do that. Okay,
We'll make sure.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We already moved on that, right? Yes. Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Oh, and Tony's up here already. Consider approval of the district activities requests.
Good evening, Rec Board Chairman Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, and Rec Board members. The District Activities Department would like to ask for your approval for Rec Board funds for the following two items. Item number one is outdoor track and field rolling pit covers for our two high jump pits and our pole vault pit at the stadium. High jump and pole vault at the stadium and high jump pits at the high school. And then with logos that will be included on those that will make them look really neat. And for you, Doug, the company will put these together. That does include the company coming and putting them together and making sure they're done right. And then the other item I would like for approval for is a tumble track. It's a 20-foot tumble track made of aluminum that we can take apart to be used by our cheer team, as tumbling has become one of the major scoring aspects of the cheer competition now. So, and the track pits not to exceed $50,000 for shipping, installation, all the track pits covers, and then not to exceed $5,000 on the gymnastic training equipment, the tumble track.
make a motion, we approve the request from our activities director, Tony Beersley, not to exceed 55,000.
Second.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Dave. Any questions or comments?
I do. Is the rollback thing, does it, you just push a button and it goes, or do you have to do it? by hand?
Actually, what they have is, and I'll show you a picture of it. What they have is the wheels, they actually have a little lever that rotates them up so that you can place the cover right over the track pit. Then when you want to move it, you just take the levers. There's like 3 wheels on each side or 4. You take the levers and pull them up or push them down, and the wheels go down, and one individual can actually push it off and on the pit covers. So what it's going to do is give us a lot more storage space. These pit covers will look nice. They'll actually match. They'll be green with white. So they'll match kind of there's a cover at the stadium already that covers some, I don't know, some pipes or something out there, but they'll match that and look really nice. And then we'll have storage space under the stadium for other things and in that shed up at the high school.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then we'll hear an update for the rec board budget from Christine.
Chairman Castilian and Rec Board trustees, I just wanted to give you a Rec Board budget update. I hope I can see that thing because I didn't bring my paper tonight. But in anticipation of the upcoming budget and the preliminary budget that we'll be preparing in May, I'm just letting you know what this might look like for next year. And right now, the assessed valuation is predicted to come somewhere in between 10 and 20% less than what we've had in the past. So this projected revenue here is with a 15% reduction in the revenue for the rec board for next year, which I think it'll bounce back the following year based on things that I've heard. Oh, thank you. But just to give you an idea of what a 15% revenue reduction would be, you see it's at 842,000. And then I've layered in the recurring annual expenditures that we budget for, which you can see them there. And those make up 77% of that budget. And then the requests that you've had tonight make up about 11%. And then the sinking fund that we have been working on for the turf replacement fields make up 13.5%. So just to give you an idea of where we're at, and then also where we're predicted to be on the reserves. We're in good shape as far as the reserves go, and in the undesignated, we would be sitting at 668,000. So we do have some wiggle room there, but just to give you an idea with what to be thinking about for preliminary budget time.
Thank you, Chris. Does
Mhm.
anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
If nobody else has anything, then the meeting's adjourned.
To order. Trey Bailey, would you lead us in the pledge tonight, please? Thank you, sir. Welcome, everybody, to our board meeting tonight. First item on the agenda is public comments. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized, speak on items both on the agenda and general concerns of the patrons of the district. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual, 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Is there anybody who'd like to speak to the board? Please identify yourself. Welcome, Chris.
Chairman Core, Board of Trustees. I'm Christine. I just wanted to tell you it is National School Breakfast Week, and the Governor Gordon and First Lady Gordon tomorrow are going to be holding a virtual proclamation to celebrate the heroes across the state of Wyoming who have devoted themselves to feeding kids. This pandemic has made for challenging times, and they want them to know how much they are appreciated. And so that virtual proclamation will happen tomorrow at 3:30. There's a link that we'll try to get out to everybody if they want to watch that. But I think on behalf of the district, we want to thank our own school district number 2 heroes, Leah Kennison and the nutrition services staff. They've really stepped up to the plate and done an amazing job this year with all of the challenges that they've had. So thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We now want to recognize the All-State wrestlers. Josh, are you in the house? Come on up. Welcome. A little different story this year.
That's all right. Still proud of my guys.
Oh, yeah.
We wrestled really well. So first off, I want to introduce the board to Connor Todd and Kale Knezovich. We want to thank you for inviting us here tonight so that our all-state wrestlers can be recognized. It's an honor to be here. I've had the privilege and honor to coach these amazing student athletes through such an interesting, challenging, and character building type of season. I'm happy to be here to introduce and recognize the amazing accomplishments of these two wrestlers. I'm going to talk about you guys a little bit, so don't be nervous, okay, like I am. Okay. So this is, like I said before, this is sophomore Connor Todd. He finished the season with a 28-10 record. Connor led our team in pins this year with 25. So out of his 28 wins, 25 of them were pins. That's an 89% of his matches were won by pin. That's a huge accomplishment. If it were a normal year, Connor may have broken our individual season pin record. Connor was awarded Wrestler of the Week by the coaching staff the second week of January and didn't miss a single practice all year. Think about that with the pandemic and everything. Connor's the Southwest Regional Quadrant Champion and runner-up at the 3A State Championship, which also awarded him All-State. He accomplished this while wrestling at a weight class above what he had wrestled the majority of the season. Connor did what was best for the team and didn't question the decision to move up. So that kind of tells you the type of kid that Connor is. Our next wrestler is freshman Kale Knezovich. He finished the season with a 32-1 record. Kale also led our team in 3 major statistical categories this year. He had the most tech falls with 3, the most reversals with 27, and the most near fall with 73. With 27 reversals, Kale is now our individual leader for most reversals in a season, a team record that he took over from his older brother. So there may be a little trash talking in the Knezovich house in the near future. Kale also was awarded Wrestler of the Week by the coaching staff the second week of December. Kale is a Southwest Regional Quadrant Champion, a 3A State Champion, which made him All-State as well. Kale is very focused and a tough wrestler. He only missed 1 practice all year, and he works very hard in the room to improve himself and his teammates. You know, all these great accomplishments that they've earned on the mat, I'm super proud of them for that. But I think the thing I'm most proud of these two individuals is that they show a lot of good character. They're just great kids. They go to school on time. They get good grades. I've not seen them on the eligibility report all year long. They're just very coachable, respectful, and work very hard in everything that they do. They're the kind of student athletes that you want to be part of your program. So thanks everyone for having us.
Hey, Coach Wisniewski, I gotta say this. I said this at the final regular season basketball game, and that is, you know, we did it. If you think about what you're able to accomplish with athletics, both fall and the winter and now the spring, and there's states all around us that aren't even playing sports, and Wyoming was able to do it. And that's because of you and the students and the administrators. And I think it's pretty cool that we can actually say we did it.
Yeah, I do. You know, one thing, like at the beginning of the year, I told the guys what we had to do to finish the season, and they bought in. And, you know, we had to jump through hoops, and we did it. We finished the season. And if you ask me, it was a very successful season.
Congratulations.
So,
Appreciate you coming. Up next is recognition of the 3A Boys Swimming Assistant Coach of the Year. Mr. Beardsley, welcome back.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. It's my pleasure again to announce and honor one of our other great coaches. And it's not every day I get to do an assistant coach, but Mr. Rick Barker, come on up here. And Colleen, if you would come on up. Chairman Core, the reason I'm having Colleen come up here is I'd love to have her say something about Rick. She's worked with him so long. So, but anyway, it's my honor to recognize the 3A Assistant Coach of the Year for swimming and diving, Mr. Barker.
I feel kind of bad because I brought sticky notes, not a whole piece of paper. Jeez.
That must mean it'll be short.
That's right. No, I'm really happy that he asked me to talk about Coach Barker tonight. And I do know a lot about him, although it's not probably things I should tell everybody. But I'm just really really happy for him in this award. He's worked very hard for this. A lot of you may not know that he was actually a swimming coach and had nothing to do with diving. And a few years ago, we couldn't find any diving coaches. And so I said, hey, Rick, why don't you go do that? I'll have this other person come here. And he said, okay. And he just took it and ran with it and ended up this season with 5 boys that just did an awesome job. This is the first time that this could ever happen because they changed the rule, but we had 5 divers in the top 12 at state. So that's pretty amazing. Wasn't a question about who did, had an amazing season as far as assistant coach. And so we're really proud of him and everything that he's done. And so congrats. So I guess I'll just have my guys come on up. Come on up. So this group of boys, we had 19 kids on our team this year, moved into 3A. I don't say down. I get really upset when people say that because I'll tell you the competitiveness in 3A is just as much as it is in 4A, and it was crazy this year. And if anybody follows swimming and you looked at the results, you would see that these guys would have been in the top even if they would have been in 4A. And so we're just really proud of everything that they did this year. So we had 6 seniors that were just awesome leaders. Really gonna miss them this year. And I've got one of them that's with me tonight, and he was part of a relay that received all state honors. And that's Elijah Kraft down here at the end. Did a great job for us, you guys. This year was just an awesome leader and, did everything right. Just like everybody on our team, we had to do the same thing. We had to follow all those rules and those protocols, and it's hard to get out of a swim meet, get out of an event, and you're breathing heavy. And the first thing you got to do is grab a mask and put it over your face, and then run somewhere so you can take it off and actually get a breath because you're just dying when you get done. And it's tough. And these guys, they went through it. They didn't complain. And so I'm just so proud of them for that. And, I think the reason that we kept with it was because we had 6 seniors that just set such a good example for that. And Elijah was one of those guys. And so all conference, all state, great honors, great leader, and just really proud of you this year. So thanks, Elijah. We got our next one in line. I'll just go down the line. Our next one is Brady. Brady also was part of a relay, placed 3rd, which gave him all state honors at state in the 500 freestyle. Great distance kid. Again, just one of those kids that gets out there and does what's expected. Great in school, all of that. And so really proud of you too. So thanks. Great kid. Love him. So Ryan, next name is Ryan Fisher in the purple. Part of a relay that received all state honors. Our 400 free and our 200 free relay both got all state honors. And this guy, he's fun to watch swim because if you look at his height, he's not exactly really tall, but usually the events that he swims, you'll see like these 6-foot tall guys, and then there's him. And it's quite interesting when you see him on the blocks, but boy, they run from him because he swims fast. So congratulations, and great kid too. We have our 1 state champion this year is Braxton Cordova. Just got done with soccer practice. You guys probably saw him earlier this year with tennis. Great diver. It was very impressive, just blew everybody out of the water. And so that was really cool to watch him dive this year. So congratulations, Braxton. And next we have River Kurtz, and we kind of conned River into, I think, a little bit coming out last year and ended up 2nd this year and also getting all state honors. And so, Green River was Green River's competition. So it was pretty cool to watch them all, and just really excited about what River did this year. Just really, really improved. So congratulations with that. We had a few that are not here. So I'm just going to mention them really quick. We had Araya Finley, was part of our 400 and our 200 free relay, did a great job for us this year. Great senior leader, he was awesome. He was the he was the guy that comes behind you and just, like, you can do it, and hits a kid so hard he about knocks him across the pool. But he was a cool kid and he does some awesome stuff. So and then we are missing Jason Richmond. He wasn't able to come tonight either, and he was part of our 400 relay and just did an awesome job. So I just want to let you guys know that we had 19 kids on our team and we had 19 state qualifiers. We had 100% qualify for state this year. That's a pretty awesome job. These guys took second at state behind a team that has won 25 years in a row. We have plans to stop that, just so you know. So within 2 years, I hope I'm standing up here with a first place trophy, because I think these guys can get that done. So really proud of them. So thank you for letting us talk.
Congratulations. Thanks, Colleen. Appreciate it. Next is recognition of the All-State Theater students. Mr. Skinner, welcome. Shuffle them in and out.
All right. Chairperson Core, honorable trustees, Superintendent Behringer, we're excited to be here this evening to share with you the Green River High School students who've received honorable mentions and are all-state winners at this year's virtual state thespian festival. We'll just ask that everybody hold applause until we're done with all of them, and we'll speed this up. We will begin in monologues, and we're just going to ask the students to raise your hand when we call your names. In monologues, we had Joy Croft, Jaron Sharetta, Elijah Croft, and Emily Skinner. In group acting, performing a scene from Clue, we had Emily Skinner, Forbes Reynolds, Tristan Higbee, Sandra Faginzer, Amber Gambles, Ethan Peterson, and Eli Thomas. And in solo musicals, our honorable mentions are Elijah Croft, Emily Skinner, Hannah Skinner, Jaron Sharetta, Jessica Owens, Joy Croft, Cameron Farrell, and Tristan Higbee.
Okay, in duo musicals, we had Emily Skinner and Cameron Farrell, Jaron Sharetta and Elijah Croft, Sandra Faginzer and Tristan Higbee. And then we had honorable mentions in group musical performing those from the musical Six, Emily Skinner, Maddie Grubb, Amber Gambles, Ellie Phillips, Beth Faginzer, and Laurel Kurth. And then we had another musical number from the musical Six, Jaron Sharetta, Timmy Golightly, Tristan Higbee, Chatney Terrell, Emmy Archibald, and Ty Higbee. And performing from the musical Next to Normal, Cameron Farrell, Eli Thomas, and Elijah Croft. And then for the backstage part of theater, we had for costume construction, Ellie Phillips. And then we also are able to enter in the categories for film and in short film, Madeline Grubb, and in original screenwriting, Cameron Farrell.
And now for our all-state recipients who also qualify for this summer's International Thespian Festival. In stage management, receiving all-state recognition, Emily Skinner. And in solo musical performances, we have Chatney Terrell and Sandra Faginzer.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Congratulations, students. Nice job. Okay, next on our agenda is recognition of district nursing staff. Dr. Demaray, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Core and Superintendent Behringer and Board of Trustees. It seems like anymore we can't have any conversations without COVID coming up, and I think it's shows you the impact that this pandemic has had on all of our communities and our districts. And so with that, we read an article the other day that only 2 states in the country have had 90% of their schools actually attending all school year. And so Wyoming and Montana being that. And And a lot of people need to be recognized for that. Obviously, our community, our parents, our students, our staff, all the different departments that play a role. But there are a few folks that are in the front lines and keep our kids safe and keep our kids screened, it seems like, from different symptoms. And so I'd like to bring those folks up here, and we'd like to recognize them probably a little bit late on that recognition. I think that they've been working hard behind the scenes since this summer at trying to come up with ideas and just different protocols that we're following from the state. But they've all been instrumental in making sure that if a student is ill or showing symptoms, or a staff member, that they're right there and putting themselves at risk to make sure that they're isolated and we can continue with our school day. So they also all take a lot of time out of their personal lives to do the tracing and call families after school and those things that may have been exposed. And we can all probably assume that those phone calls aren't all great to make. So with that, I'd like to bring up Michelle Cordova. She's our school nurse at Green River High School. Amy Fisher, who's our school nurse at Lincoln Middle School. Come on up.
They're right behind you now.
Oh, perfect. Courtney Kubal. Courtney Kubal is our nurse at Harrison. Stephanie Eastman is the nurse at Monroe. Christine Smith is our nurse at Truman. And Alicia Bosse is our school nurse at Washington. And Michelle is also the school nurse at Expedition Academy. So what we've got for these great medical professionals is a couple plaques, and one of them has the acronym NURSE, which stands for nurturing, understanding, responsible, smart, and extraordinary, which I think that most of us who deal with them on a daily basis would tell you that probably identifies all of their qualities. As well as there is a little Band-Aid holder that Mr. Mickelson gave a contest at a STEM program at the middle school. And Lennox Munoz was the successful student who created the best little kind of protege there, but it's got their nurse and thank you on that as well for their office. So we just want to show you some appreciation. We know that it's not near what you deserve in terms of as much as you've done for our school district and gotten us through here almost spring break, which is pretty amazing, and all of our activities and just a wonderful, wonderful experience. So we just want to say thank you. So.
Standing O time.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we really appreciate what you do for our district and helping us through this COVID and pandemic. I'm hoping that the legislature also agrees, and maybe we'll fund more nurses, and we're going to have nurses at every building. We're hoping for that, but we appreciate what you do for the district. We really do. Thank you very much. Next up is recognition of Truman Elementary staff member, David Asselmeyer. David, welcome.
Thank you. Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. You know, I would echo a lot of those sentiments that Mr. Demery just said about the nurses. Absolutely well-deserved. I'd like to echo that for our custodial staff. So I'm not sure if she knows why she's here this evening, but we're here to recognize Ms. Brooke as an outstanding, absolutely outstanding custodial member at Truman. So there you are. I don't want to embarrass you too much. Yeah, you're good. So mostly because I didn't want to think of words myself, I'm going to read some things that the kids wrote about her. Ms. Brooke is so awesome because she is so nice, funny, and helps us. Here's a haiku. You are amazing. You are so smart and so sweet. You are super kind. And I chose these because they don't talk about just the job that she does, but they talk about the relationships with kids that she has. And I think that's what makes her the most special at Truman. In her first year there, absolutely outstanding. And I'll just read one more. Miss Brooke is kind, terrific, and is like a friend to a lot of the students here at Truman Elementary. Miss Brooke likes to talk to all of us after lunch. She is always happy to see us. She acts it anyway, whether she is or not. Miss Brooke is the best custodian in the world. So without that, or without further ado, I'd just like to give her a round of applause and thank you very much. So.
Congratulations, Brooke, and thank you for what you do for the school district. And for your punishment, you get to stay for the rest of the board meeting. No, appreciate you coming. Really do. Thank you. It's always nice to recognize people that aren't expecting it. Okay, up next is recognition of Green River High School Student Council, Make-A-Wish. Welcome Darren Heslop, our principal.
Thank you, Chairman Corr, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. I'd like to take a minute to boast a little bit about the efforts of our Make-A-Wish program and the students and our support staff and the people that have helped make this happen. I'd like to introduce our student council advisors first. Miss Marissa DeClerc, she's a second-year teacher. Mr. Jacob Gantz, first-year teacher for us. And they're not only great people for our kids, they're also great cooks. They cooked for us tonight. Our whole staff got a meal, and these two prepared it for everybody. So that was pretty cool. I also have our executive board of our student council, which includes our president, Miss Sydney Ferrer, student body vice president, Emily Skinner, student body secretary, Cammy Lynn Lloyd, and student body treasurer, Kaylee Gibson. Now, I asked Mr. Gantz if he could give me a little information about Make-A-Wish, and he shared things with me that I didn't know, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. And the first thing was where Make-A-Wish came from and how it was inspired. And it came from a young man. His name was Christopher James Gracious. He was an energetic young man, 7 years old, battling leukemia. In 1980, his community came together to support him and granted him a wish. And from that's where Make-A-Wish came from. Since that time, Make-A-Wish, it became an organization that has grown to impact young people facing critical and terminal illness across the globe. Our group, Sweetwater County, the folks from Rock Springs, as well as those of us here in Green River, have made efforts and contributed Make-A-Wish efforts every year as far as I can remember. And they earn more money within our county than anybody in the whole state. I don't want to steal a whole lot of their thunder, but I do want to talk for just a second about these kids. They've done a great job advocating for the needs of our students, providing opportunities while trying to navigate this pandemic. They have been in visiting with me on multiple occasions, trying to find ways to get our students involved. And it started with homecoming and it hasn't stopped since then. They're currently helping with the graduation stuff that I presented to you. They're talking about prom, and I'm sure they've got something else up their sleeve they've yet to talk to me about. So without anything else, I'm going to let them present the results of what's taken place with Make-A-Wish. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
You want me to do it? Okay. Thank you guys for letting us come and talk about this. We have our student body exec board going to present our little slideshow for you. It's talking about the blood drive and Make-A-Wish because we had both events happen within 2 weeks. Stressful 2 weeks, but we've made it, and they're going to just run through this PowerPoint. So Emily can go through. Does it switch or do I switch it? I think it's, oh, click it. It is you. Okay, so this is the 13th year that we have done this blood drive with Rock Springs, the I Bleed Green, I Bleed Orange blood drive. And in that time, the two schools together have saved over 20,000 lives, which is absolutely amazing. That's 20,000 lives that have been changed just because of some simple donations from our community. This year, we were able to collect 541 pints of blood just in the 4 days that we hold our blood drive. And that amount of blood is able to save up to 1,623 lives, which is quite amazing if we say so ourselves.
Oh, the arrow. Okay. So the results for the blood drive, Rock Springs collected 264 pints, while Green River collected 277 pints. With this win, we were able to bring back the trophy for the 7th year. And once all the Wyoming school blood drives are over, we will find out if we collected the most in the state, and we'll hopefully receive that trophy again.
Nice.
So the I Bleed Green blood drive accomplishments. During our blood drive, we had 2 students who both signed up, over 30 people that donated blood. Vitalent is honoring both students with a $500 scholarship for their work to help save lives. One of them students being Sydney Ferrer, who's here with us tonight, and the other one being Oren Watts. Good night.
So for our Make-A-Wish this year, this is the 17th year that we've had a Make-A-Wish competition between Green River and Rock Springs. But this past year, we decided that we were not going to have a competition between Green River and Rock Springs, but instead decided that our theme would be community over competition. And over the years that Green River has been participating in Make-A-Wish, we have raised $432,401. $11.
Amazing.
All right. So our council started planning Make-A-Wish on January 5th of this year. And we worked countless hours meeting with our principals, planning events, talking to the community to get these activities planned. And within that 1 week, we were able to hold 11 events that allowed us to make all the money that we did to help grant some wishes. So it's pretty amazing that we were able to accomplish all that in 1 week.
This year, Sweetwater County was able to raise $39,885.04 in 1 week.
So finally, we would just like to thank our administration, the school board, Mr. Behringer, Sweetwater County number 4 schools, number 2, wow, who all raised number 2, who all raised over $9,000. The Green River community, businesses, and Green River High School for helping us make this week possible and helping us raise over $20,000 for Make-A-Wish Wyoming. With the $39,000 we raised, we were able to grant around 5 wishes this year.
We would also just like to thank our student council who made all of this possible. I won't go through all the names, but you can see them all listed there. They helped run all of our events and just made sure that our Make-A-Wish and Blood Drive Week was as successful as it could be. That's it. That's all we got.
Before you run off, I wanted to mention something. I can remember being involved in student council when I was in high school back in the late 70s. And you guys will be the future leaders of this country. You have no idea at your age right now what's going to happen in 20 years, but you may be sitting up here like we are because of what we were able to do in high school, being leaders and leading the group and all of that. So I've been there, I've done that. It was a long time ago, but I appreciate your efforts. And you guys on average have raised about $24,000 to Make-A-Wish over 17 years. That's an amazing number. But congratulations and thanks for sharing tonight. We appreciate it. Next item is give me a break, please.
And the winner is Rachel Todd.
Oh, boy. Could you,
Rachel,
could you
I am
please,
so
could you please inform the police department when you're running the transportation department?
Oh, man. Sorry, Rachel.
Oh, boy. All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Brenda, second by Robin to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next is the consent agenda items. Or anything on there you'd like to take off and move? Being none, I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Ashley, second by David. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Reminder of the virtual conference in New Orleans. It's actually not going to be in New Orleans, but anyway, it's virtually, yeah. You could pretend like you're in New Orleans if you'd like to get on that conference. Next, a reminder is a legislative session that has begun, and it's been somewhat entertaining. You can watch that on YouTube. It's interesting. And I think Charlie is not allowing anybody to speak on the Senate bill. Is that correct? No public comment?
He offered public comment, but there's some, you can sign up to testify, but then you have to raise your hand to testify. So
Oh, okay.
I emailed him.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed. Thank you so
It
much.
was very good. It was
Yeah,
very good.
good.
email.
I was,
Yeah. Thing about watching Charlie, the only thing you can see is the top of his head. Anyway, so that's continuing and we're hoping for the best. And if you have any comments you'd like to submit, certainly send those to your local legislators. The legislative forum's coming up this weekend. I think Brenda, you're attending that.
Yes.
Okay.
And David.
And David. All right. Yeah. Remember, you're down there for school board, not Trona.
That's the week after.
Okay. Also a reminder of the McKinnon meet and greet, which is on Monday, April 19th. I am planning on attending that. So we'll get together here at central office and we'll talk about that at the April meeting, but yeah, plan on attending that. Next up is under personnel, consider approval of the VRIP request. Dr. Foos, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman, Core Trustees, Superintendent Behringer. The district would like to congratulate these folks tonight for their years of service and wish them the best for their endeavors moving forward. And so Chairman Core, I'll list out the names if that's okay with you. All right, the approved people on the list have met the requirements of the VRIP. They have signed their paperwork and the resend period of 7 days has expired. So all of the legal requirements have been met. The list of people for the VRIP is Owen Creasel, 6th grade teacher at Lincoln Middle School. Lori Hastert, 6th grade teacher at Lincoln Middle School. John Lee, 6th grade teacher, Lincoln Middle School. Sarah Crow, kindergarten teacher, Truman Elementary. Pat Lauterbach, instructional facilitator, Truman Elementary. Renee Evans, 1st grade teacher, Truman Elementary. Mary Rath, music teacher, Harrison Elementary. Tamara Noble, special education teacher, Harrison Elementary. Kathy Himker, instructional facilitator, Monroe Elementary. And Alicia Robeson, counselor, Monroe Elementary.
Okay, I need a motion, please. Moved by Robin. Second by David to approve the certified VRIP retirements as outlined by Mr. Foos. Any discussion? A lot of years of experience going out the door. Wow. Did you add it up?
You know, did a quick calculator on the Monroe folks and they were at 100, just those folks alone. And so I knew you were probably going to ask that question. I think it's touching 400 years right there.
I'm sure it is.
40, excuse me.
And we certainly thank all of them for their years of service to our district, no doubt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is our support VRIP retirements. Dr. Foos.
All right, the support staff, congratulations to your years of service with the district as well, and we wish you the best. Karen Munoz, ELL professional at Monroe Elementary. Kathleen Huber, SPED administrative assistant, central office. Darlene Munoz, custodian, central office. Janet Selly, payroll lead, central office. Bonnie Nilsson, accounts payable, central office. Levon Wadsworth, bus driver, transportation, and Sandra Lee, bus driver, transportation.
Need a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Ashley, second by Brenda to approve the support VRIP retirements as outlined by Dr. Foos. Any discussion? Again, I'd echo the same thing. A lot of years of experience there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, consider approval of the certified resignation request.
Okay, the certified resignations, as you can see before you, Bonnie Orr, kindergarten teacher, Truman Elementary. Fred,
We're working on Joy Brady.
Yeah, you said resignations, and so.
Oh, retirement. I'm sorry. Did I say resignation?
Yep,
Certified
if you're
retirement.
Okay.
Sorry. My bad.
I'll go ahead and do the retirement. She tried to retire last year and Dr. Desmarais wouldn't let her. And Joy, thank you very much for helping us. And hopefully you listen to this audio sometime in the future, but thank you very much. And so certified retirement, Joy Brady, and we certainly wish her the best.
Need a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Brenda, second by David to approve Joy Brady's retirement. Any discussion? Man, what a career she had.
Yes.
I think when I moved here, she was the secretary at the activities department.
That's correct.
She's had quite a career to get to where she ended up. Pretty neat.
And near and dear to Joy Brady's heart is the time her father spent being color on the radio with Chairman Core, and she's told me many stories about that. And you're right, just dedicated a lifetime to Sweetwater School District number 2 and really special stuff.
Yep, sweetheart. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is certified resignations.
Okay, wish these people the best as well. Thank you for serving in the district, but they're all going to be missed. Bonnie Orr, kindergarten teacher at Truman Elementary, Fred Putri, math teacher, Expedition Academy, and Lisa Corsi, sped teacher at Lincoln Middle School. Thank you for your consideration.
Need a motion, please? Moved by Robin, second by Brenda to approve the certified resignations as outlined. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is our curriculum instruction and assessment for this board meeting, a presentation on the winter interim assessments. We welcome our curriculum director to the microphone, Greg Fergenzer. Greg, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. In the back of the room is Mr. Mickelson, and he loves to keep time on me when I do these things. So currently, our superintendent, Mr. Behringer, is leading the pack at 26 minutes. So I'm going to do my best at making sure that we stay under that, because he has some sort of award or crown at the end of the year for who goes the longest. So when we're looking at our interim data, there's a couple of things we need to think about this year and COVID. So in looking at the information that we have, I thought the best way to look a little bit at, whoops, I think I did the wrong thing already, Mary. Keyboard shortcuts, that's not what I want.
Pause the clock, Matt.
Yep, please pause.
Craig says, keep it going.
Okay, operator error cannot count on this.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, yes, it does. So when we're looking at our information, we are looking at, I wanted to look at the whole district as a whole first. This information shows us where we are currently per grade level as a district from 3rd grade through 10th grade. So it takes in all of our rural schools, it takes in all of our students that are distance learners, it takes in our entire population without being able to say, we can't necessarily pull out Toman, right? Because that definitely gives exactly who that information is about. But as looking at this as a district, we want to look at a couple of things. In the October data, the first test that was taken in 3rd grade, we look at our red score, which is below basic, our yellow score, which is basic, and then proficient and advanced. What we want to see in this information is our reds decrease, our yellows hopefully decrease, but our greens and our blues increase. Okay, that means we're making that information, we're getting through to our kids, we're making our strides that we need to in order to close the gap with our COVID issue. So when I start looking at 4th grade, this is longitudinal data. So we are looking at when they first tested as 3rd graders. The red dots that you'll see on here is the last time they tested, and that was at COVID. And then where they are now, or where they were in the fall of this year, and eventually where they are right now. So what we are seeing is a good arc. And what we're also seeing is we didn't see a significant dip in our ELA scores at the end of COVID, or beginning of COVID and the beginning of this school year. All right, our kids hadn't been in school for 6 months, and we did not see a sharp decrease. So, but if you look over at our information, we are looking at in our October of this year information, we had, I can't really see it up there what our percentage is, but you can see how we decreased our basics. Our yellows did increase, but that's what we want because our reds did, our below basics did decrease. But as you move up and into advanced, this year in 4th grade, we had a significant number of students advanced by our mid-year, our interim data. So that is extremely good. When we're looking at the challenges that we've had with COVID, where are our kids and did they close the gap? I think you're going to see in this data, we have gotten very good at closing the gap with all of our students across the board even given the fact that they did not have the fourth quarter of school last year. So just kind of briefly going down each of these, and you can, now that you kind of see how I have the information laid out, we have 3 years of information from 1819, 1920, and 2021 that we can show in these slides, because those are the only 3 years that we have the interim data. So in looking at where we are currently, we in fifth grade ELA, we had a significant number of students. We see now this little bit of a dip after the COVID and then the recovery. So we are making significant headway, and we're almost to where we were at mid-year last year before COVID hit. Sixth grade, we have exactly the same type of information, and we have that good arc and that good growth. And again, we did not drop off in sixth grade from fifth grade to sixth grade as they left for COVID. So, there it goes. So I'm going to try and back up to seventh grade. No, I'm not. There we go. Okay, so seventh grade. Whoop. Now this is getting touchy, Mary. I'm messing it up. Nope. Okay, here we go. So now we see, as they get older, we see more of a dip after COVID. We are seeing that quite a bit in both our ELA and our math information. Okay, and then eighth grade. But we have this huge spike right after COVID. We tested about 3 weeks after school started, and then we kind of had a leveling off. And at the end of this, I'm going to show you exactly what each and every school is, not every school, but each elementary, what the middle school and high school are doing to deal with anomalies like flattened data like we see with a little bit of eighth grade there. Ninth grade, we see our dip in our recovery. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but right now our information is about 5 weeks old. So they have grown quite a bit since this. All right. Now 10th grade, you'll see. When we have erratic information like this, we want that smooth arc like we see in the younger grades. So we are still working on that. So now we'll move into math. And you're going to see that it's been more difficult for us to recover from math. So as kids are off or they're not in school, they may curl up with a book, or they may get a new game and they're going through and they're reading the instructions, or they have magazines and they're reading those types of things. So they do have some reading material, but it's an odd student that may sit down with a little bit of hot chocolate and curl up with an Algebra 2 text. So generally they're not doing that, obviously. So we are seeing a little bit of, we have more work to do in recovery from in math from COVID. So we have third grade. Woo, maybe. Mary, I broke it. Did it go? Nope. There we go. Okay, fourth grade. You will see that we started with a significant number of students basic and below basic, and now we are growing through there, and we are seeing more proficient and more of our advanced students. Nope. There we go. Fifth grade. Man, oh man. So fifth grade, sixth grade. I'm just going to try and click through here better. Seventh grade, eighth grade. And we see that big peak right there. And then we had the drop off, and we're still recovering there in eighth grade. Ninth grade. This is very interesting information for us, because we are seeing that the school improvement grant, and Mr. Imoni shared with us a few months ago the work that is being done at the high school, and we are definitely seeing that work pay off. Freshman scores, but then if we move up to the sophomore scores, look at that jump. We have really recovered, and they are doing excellent work. This is our summary. And the things that I looked at was all of our information is trending in the correct way. We are decreasing our basics and below basics, and we're increasing our proficiency in our advanced. We are almost to where we were across the board in our 2018-19 numbers. In many cases, we are better now than we were at that time, which is an amazing thing to say and to see in our system, because it just shows you the quality of teachers and administrators that we have. Our scale score is the highest this year in almost every winter score over the last 3 years. So that is an impressive piece as well. Work to do. We have some ELA pieces that we still have to work on. One of the things that math is stronger at the high school than it has been in some of the elementary and middle school. So we are still focusing on that. And again, below basic is a higher percentage in math, below basic and basic than it is in ELA. And we have yet to fully recover from COVID when it comes to math. So next, what I did was I compared where our schools are compared to the state. Obviously, the green line is us, and the state is the consistent black line across the bottom. So this is Harrison as compared to the state. This year, third grade fall, third grade winter, fourth grade fall, fourth grade winter, and so on. And I'll show you these for each of the elementaries, and then the middle school and the high school. So we see that basically we started close to where the state was at 549 in third grade, and then we tracked with the state to winter third grade at Harrison. We had a nice peak at the beginning of fourth grade and then kind of leveled off. And then fifth grade, we started above the state and we continued that trend throughout this first semester. Monroe, we started above the state. We tracked right along with it. And we got a little bit close to the state towards the end. And then Truman Information tracked above and really started to pull away from the state by that fifth grade winter information. And this one is another very interesting one. So the Washington, and I know that I was with Trustee Russo last year when we were at Washington looking at how one of the teachers tore apart her information and knew how to focus on some of her kids. This is the result of some of that work. And so really digging in and looking at that information. Fifth grade didn't quite recover. Now that Washington data is also the highest fourth grade score we have in the district and is higher than some of our fifth grade scores. So they're really doing an outstanding job. We are seeing some really strong information coming out of Washington. Lincoln, and again, where the sixth grade started, and they tracked almost identically that far above the state, and then how their arc came, and again, finishing up with eighth grade, kind of tracking right back where the state is. The high school, if I can get it there, and where we had that significant drop from ninth grade down to the beginning of 10th grade and up. So we're working hard to recover that information and then recover that data. The thing that the English department is doing at the high school is the same work that we started last year with the math department, and we are really starting to see some excellent gains. They are quality teachers, and they are starting to really use their PLC process very, very well. Expedition Academy was a very good highlight. Started above the state and tracked well above the state in ELA. I did not have freshman information for Expedition because the sample size is too small. So we can't present that, otherwise we run into confidentiality. So math tracked the same way. We started often above the state and we continued above the state. And you'll see that as we move all the way through our information with each school. The Lincoln information, again, by the time we hit that eighth grade year, we're tracking right at the state or just a little bit below, but we look at that winter information with seventh grade fall and then that huge spike, and then sixth grade fall and that huge spike. So that's great things to see for our middle school. High school, this is the math piece, and that's another great example of the work that they have been doing both in the winter and ninth grade and in 10th grade. So Expedition, we have some work to do, and we have already had conversations and what we're doing to address that. So again, some of the summary is the systems are trending above the state, both in ELA and math, and in almost every category. And so that is very good information for us. So that tells us that we continue to be one of the top 10 systems in the state. Our mid-year information as a system was significantly above the state. Green River High School math is showing significant improvement based on all the work that they have done. Washington has shown significant improvement. In most cases, the loss due to COVID in ELA has been recaptured. We are still working on math. English at Expedition Academy outpaced the state and the district average scale score. So work to do. Obviously, the grade levels that are not quite where we want them to be in ELA and math above the state, we are still focusing on that. And then these areas of work to do, I'm going to ask Mary to kind of take this over and click on the next piece. I want to show you exactly the focus that each individual school has. And I've only taken a sample of 3 different pieces. So when we're looking at this information, this is the PLC process as is used in our root cause analysis for both Washington and Truman. So it is exactly looks at all data fall and winter, and then breaks it down by ELA, what is important, what is going well, what is some struggle. They have opportunities to discuss. And then all the way at the bottom, they come up with the common information that they need to focus on as a grade level. So they boil it down not only from the big numbers, but down to exactly what teachers are doing and which kids need more support. And then they look at it as a whole and what kind of school goal can be set. So that way, when we apply in this case for school-wide title funding to the state, they know exactly what our root cause analysis has shown us and how we are going to focus for the next year. So Mary, if you want to click on the next one, I think I have 3rd grade finished information. So this is what the teachers did. They boiled it down. They looked exactly at below basic, proficient and advanced, exactly the numbers. And then they went through that process and drove down all the way into, Mary, if you want to scroll all the way to the bottom of that, it will show exactly the specific things that as a school they need to work on a little bit further. There's a couple of highlighted pieces of all of that information. Those 2 areas are exactly what the school drilled the information down to know exactly what they needed to focus on to make the greatest difference for their school as an entire school, not just as 3rd grade, not just as 4th grade, but they all came together, and those are the highlights of that information. So I'll show briefly what is happening at Lincoln. So they start with this and they show what the state is this in the fall and then the winter in both state 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and then the growth. Then they break that down into that next page. So I took out the names, but they take that information, they drill it down to section and teacher and then down to student. So they know exactly which students are on the bubble, which students need some more support, and which students are doing just fine. But they boil that information all the way down so they know exactly where teachers need to focus and which students they need to support. And then the last one, Mary, on the high school. So we took a sample of what the high school math department is doing. I know that I'm sorry that this didn't show up a little bit better. I had to copy it a couple times to make sure that the names of students didn't show through. But they look at these questions, and all of these questions are basically the 4 questions that have to do with the PLC. What do we want students to know? We are very focused on what we want students to know. How do we know if they learned it? This process shows us whether or not they're learning it, what students need more help, exactly how they're going to provide that help, exactly where they're going to provide that help as if it's in win time or another time throughout the day. And then they look at what we call, they actually highlighted a specific student that was on the verge of going from below basic to basic, focusing on them. What does that student need? Then looking at basic to proficient and proficient to advanced, really honing in and focusing on how can we best meet the needs of these students and get them to grow a little more. And then if we look on that, this page right here, it says checkpoints, exact dates that they're going to check in with the kids, and then the evidence from different win times, different times throughout the week on making sure that these kids are growing and that they're continuing to grow their kids. All of this type of work came from the school improvement grant and the work that the math department is doing. So we've taken this information, we've torn it apart, we're looking at it, and we're trying to do the best we possibly can for each one of our students in our district. So that's my presentation, and ready for any questions.
Questions?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that COVID had an impact on testing with virtual learning, but I think our teachers did a great job of the virtual learning, but I think there's no question that virtual learning is not as good as in-class learning based on what I just saw.
Now, our virtual,
Agree with that?
Our virtual kids are tracking where the nation is. And the nation, if you're not face-to-face with the teacher, you don't do as well. And that's obvious. We always think that that's common sense, but even a number of years ago, we had, or maybe it was just a year ago, we had a presentation where the K-12 online person that works with Niobrara School District came on, and he was asked, well, how does your data compare? And he goes, well, we usually track significantly behind what the state generally does. And that's what we're seeing with our virtual kids.
And I like your comment. We are closing the gap across the board.
Absolutely, we are.
Yep.
Well, our
Any other
teachers
questions,
and our
comments?
administrators are amazing.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you, Greg.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Craig, still the leader in the clubhouse
Clock doesn't stop till he gets to his seat.
by 6 minutes? Yeah. Okay. All right, next item on our agenda. Let's spend some money, I guess. Consider approval of the bid results for the 2 combi ovens at Lincoln Middle School. Leah, welcome.
Thank you. Chairman Corr, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. We received 7 proposals for the 2 combi ovens. I'm seeking your approval to purchase 2 combi ovens from Pueblo Hotel Supply out of Colorado for the total amount of $59,899.44.
Pleasure of the board.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Brenda, second by David to approve the 2 combi ovens for $59,899.44. Any discussion? When will they be in and running?
So they're supposed to be here by April 28th.
Okay, great. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Leah.
Thanks.
Next item, consider approval of the RFQ results for Lincoln Middle School Boys Locker Room. Mr. Hamel, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman, Core Board. The request came out of Facilities Committee last week and for your consideration. Groat House for 533, not to exceed 533,500.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Moved by Brenda. Second by David to approve the Groat House construction proposal of $533,500 for the Lincoln Locker Room STEM Room remodel project. Any discussion?
And there was no other bidders on this? That were
So,
qualified?
so it wasn't really a bid, it was a design bid request for qualifications. That's what it was.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This will come out of the major maintenance budget. Next item is consider approval of the district-wide crack seal bid results. Mr. Hamel?
This one was a bid recommendation for asphalt preservation out of Roy, Utah for $48,273.98.
And you can see in the board booklet how it's spread out. Yes, okay. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Ashley?
Second.
Second by Brenda to approve the bid from Asphalt Preservation for $48,273.98, dealing with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11 different locations within the district. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Doug.
Chairman.
Appreciate it. Next item is here a presentation on the Region 5 BOCES mill funds. Dan Mayer, I believe, is here, and so is Aaron Carr. Welcome, gentlemen.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and members of the board. I first want to thank you for your continued support for Region 5 BOCES programs and students. The funds generated from your community through the MILF levy are essential and invaluable to our program. Because of you, our children, some of the most needed individuals in our state, are receiving services, care, and therapeutic interventions necessary for them to become responsible people to be contributing citizens. In your packets, we have information on Roosevelt Learning Center for your review, presentation about our outreach services and programs, including related services and some professional development offerings we have created, overview of our Region 5 BOCES finances, which includes mill levy funds, the use of those, financial impact of COVID-19 for your information, how that impacted us. And then, of course, the two official documents from our board requesting the mill funds for next year. I understand you have those, and Aaron and I are here to answer questions on any of that information or anything that you may have on that. So we'll stand for
Yeah, there's
questions.
a lot of documents there. Is any questions from the board? I certainly appreciate the fact that this information is given to us. I really do. I thought it was very informative as I went through it. Of course, you know, as well as anybody, that we are probably going to see our revenues in our district down, the actual mill levy. But we all have to take a little bit of a hit, I guess, when that goes down. So,
yep.
But I have not heard from the rest of the board, but I have not heard that we would not do the 0.2 mills.
Okay.
So we would do that at our July board meeting, but
excellent.
I think that that's the direction we're going on this.
All right. We appreciate that. We appreciate your continued support. If at any time you have a question for Brenda, our
esteemed board member,
and your esteemed board member.
Yes.
I'm happy to answer questions. You can channel them through Dr. Demaray.
Yeah.
Can't believe I said that out loud.
It's hard for all of us to say it,
Okay,
trust me.
well, good. It rolls off your tongue much easier than mine.
I would ask a question of Aaron. Aaron, how's the building? Is everything good over there in Jackson?
It is phenomenal, Chairman Core, members of the board, Superintendent Behringer. I find it noteworthy that although we're not members and directly paid through District 2, I feel like we are. You know, with the facilities department, the special education department, the food services, transportation, I just can't say enough good things about how you folks have treated us. And
That was a good move.
it was a great move, and we appreciate all the help. We
All
need
right.
it.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Appreciate your coming, and thanks for the information. I'm serious. It really helps me. This, I appreciate it.
You guys do a great job in serving on that board. I think we serve a very special need in all of the communities that we're in, and you guys are doing great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, special and important for sure. Our next item is consider approval of the lease agreement of Jackson Elementary to Region 5 BOCES. Dr. Demaray.
All right, Chairman Gore and Board of Trustees, Superintendent Behringer, now that you've seen their financials, let's take a look at their lease agreement and see what amendments we can make. So we've taken a look in collaboration with Mr. Carr and their use of that building. We've made a couple amendments, and it's really to try to help them as well as we review our finances and making sure that the leasing of that building isn't costing the district an observed amount of money. And so we feel like it needs to be a win-win. It's helpful for us, for those students that are attending Roosevelt. So what we've done is in collaboration with BOCES, we've added 2 rooms to their square footage, and then increase that in their rent, which, as you can see, it will go from $19.48 a month, or it'll be to $19.48 a month, or $23,376 annually. Only about an increase of about $160, $170 there per month, which is, you know, it was still a financial impact. But as well as probably for us, the most is just having BOCES take care of their own custodial staff. And so for that, we can definitely explore if they would like to contract with us or any of those pieces. But for right now, that's a significant cost to the district for us to do that. They feel like they can do that in-house and utilize some different resources. But we know that if they do want to contract with us, we can still explore that. But that's going to save us quite a bit of funds overall, and it will get us a little bit closer to where we don't want to be making money, but we also don't want to be losing a lot of money. So those are the few changes that we've made.
Okay. And what's the pleasure of the board? Would you like me to sign that document? I need a motion, please. Moved by Robin, second by David, to approve the lease agreement for the Jackson Elementary to Region 5 BOCES. Any further discussion or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and that'll go to their board meeting next, which I think is later this month. So
Okay.
for their approval.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next is consider approval of the 2021 budget amendment. Corinne, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Corr, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. We have two amendments today, the first one being the general fund amendment. This amendment is going to increase the instructional area by the $194,938. It's going to decrease instructional support by $36,918 and increase general support by $119,073. And the remaining $277,093 will come out of cash reserves. What this amendment is for, it's for the VRIP payout and the additional bus purchase that we had. We had some slack in a couple areas. We've had some slack in curriculum, SPED, and then some salaries and benefits from unfilled positions, and the remaining coming from reserves. We're still optimistic that we will have that slack in some of our other areas, but right now we are pulling it out of the reserves. So I'm requesting the approval on your general fund budget amendment in front of you.
Okay,
So moved.
Second.
moved by Brenda, second by Ashley to approve this amendment as spelled out by Corinne and spelled out in your booklet. Any questions on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is update on the
There's
budget. Oh, we got one more.
One
I'm
more
sorry.
budget.
Yep, sorry.
So the next one is for special revenue, and this is just a movement between program area. Decrease instructional area by 70,000, decrease instructional support by 91,816, and increase general support by $161,816. And this is just from our CARES Act funding. We needed more funds in the general support supplies area. And we had less students on the virtual learning, so we had less teacher contracts.
Okay, perfect. I need a motion, please. Moved by Robin,
Second.
second by Brenda to approve this amendment to our budget. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Corinne. Appreciate it. Next is a budget update with our business manager, Christine. Chris, welcome back.
Chairman Corr, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees will keep this update pretty quick. Most everyone is probably monitoring what's going on in the legislative session, and stick with the House Education Committee and you'll feel pretty good. They have the House Bill 173 out there that looks very promising. They're calling it a comprehensive solution to school funding in Wyoming. And most of you, I won't assume that you know every piece of it, but there's some really positive things in here. One is increasing funding for school nurses in the model, which is good. Increasing average or starting teacher salaries by 10%. And of course, they do have some offsets there, like class size funding will increase and decreasing administrative salary funding by 10%. The one really exciting thing I think that we should hold on to and really fight for this bill is that they have proposed to hold harmless provision for our ADM calculation. That'll be a huge help to us if that goes through, because that'll remove this huge loss in ADM that we've had in FY 2021 and it'll remove it from the 3-year rolling average for 3 years. So that will have a multi-year impact on it. The other thing is they want to move the health insurance to a reimbursable plan, which I've already explained to you is not advantageous to us, just the nature of that. The other proposal, which will be another benefit to us, is that they're proposing to increase the carryover from 15% to 25% for a 5-year period. These dollars can only not be utilized for capital construction. And they think this will be a combination of assistance to the district, since we are going to be receiving CARES Act funds in the next, very soon, I hope, but in the next year. It has a sales tax component, a 1 penny sales tax that would only kick in if the legislative stabilization reserve account dipped below 650 million, which they think could happen in 2 to 3 years. And then they're rerouting some investment income and some severance tax to the school foundation program. That's the gist of it. I think with the compromise that has happened between the time the session started and to now, I think people are really feeling like this compromise is going to be the solution. I just want you to know that I think that this proposal is gonna, they're predicting it's gonna cost, save $10 million. The combination of these items is gonna save $10 million over 3 years, year over year for 3 years. And we're gonna be more in a balanced situation. But what I do want you to know is that the district by district impact of this bill is going to vary from anywhere from 2% to 8%, over 8% for some districts. And that is as a result of this health insurance reimbursable situation. So I have not seen the by district report, but I'm thinking that for us, it's going to be about a 6% decrease. But when you take the hold harmless for the ADM, if they can get that through, that does help us. So like I said, I haven't seen the numbers yet. We're still watching this every day. So it's a daily update on this. The House Education Committee, they will be, this has been placed on the House General File, and the discussion is supposed to begin on Thursday on this bill. As far as the Senate file bill, if you want to sleep at night, I wouldn't even listen to the Senate file bill. I don't know. It's depressing. And I hope that this bill has a chance. And that's all I can say right now about that. And with that, I can try to answer questions.
I agree with your Senate file assessment.
What time on Thursday does the House?
They usually start at 10 a.m. on their general floor discussions, but it's on the website. So if you keep that, it's very transparent to get in and watch this and listen to these discussions.
Okay. Any
So-
questions? Thank you, Chris. Thanks for keeping tabs on it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Consider approval of the Expedition Academy Dog Pilot Program. Ralph, we met the dog.
You didn't keep him?
I was gonna make him stay this long. Mary, next time, can I be put on the agenda prior to the budget? Chairman Core, members of the board, Superintendent Behringer, thank you for this opportunity. I wrote this letter to you back in February on behalf of Expedition Academy staff and students. As the third quarter of this year started, we looked at the opportunity to bring a dog into our building. I visited with Mr. Behringer about that. And he actually had experience with that in a building that he worked in. So we took that for the last 9 weeks and ran with it. His name is Obi. He's a border collie. So he's been in our building about the past 9 weeks. He's about 4 months old now. So he's very smart. He's learning a lot of new things. He's made a dramatic impact already in our student attendance and behaviors.
especially with our students who have high anxiety and high emotional needs. All of the information out there, the studies, the research behind it is all positive. Dogs in the classroom provide both physical and emotional health benefits for students. A study published by the National Institute of Health, having a dog present in the classroom promotes a positive mood and provides significant anti-stress effects on the body. The simple act of petting the dog alone has the effect of lowering blood pressure and the heart rate. I underline that, just having the dog present, you don't have to do anything. That's the best job in the world. Dogs also help lower stress hormones like cortisol, increase oxytocin. In other words, just being in contact with the dog helps calm people down when they're upset and helps keep their anxiety and emotions at bay. In addition to reducing feelings of anxiety and depression, it enables them to focus better on learning, which there's several studies with that on increasing test scores. Our students have already began to support the dog. Part of teaching the students responsibilities on how to love, take care, train, and be part of the training with the animal. With such tremendous and immediate impacts on our students' mental health, we would like to be able to keep him coming to school as a pilot through the remaining of this school year, and then come back at the end of the year with some data behind that, and with the hopes of keeping him as a permanent fixture in our school. Kind of hit on this at the beginning, but we've actually kicked this around for about the past 5 years as a staff, but nobody wanted to take the responsibility of owning the dog, bringing them to school, taking care of them, having the dog after school. But we finally have that figured out. So we have that all in place. Just a couple, the students knew I was coming to do this tonight, so we had a few that emailed me comments today. Says, coming to our school each day and seeing Obi has always made me feel better. He seemed to make the school feel brighter, as if he was a great source of positive energy. You could see the smiles on everyone's faces as they entered the building and would be greeted by Obi or taking him outside during breaks for a small game of fetch. Having Obi at school helped improve my mental health, lessen my anxiety, depression, and much more. It's nice having a companion like Obi when your day is rough and you feel like you have nobody else. There's no judgment, just a wagging tail and there for me. Truly, he's made a huge difference in my daily attitude and all my classmates. That was Freedom Kuhn, one of our seniors that just graduated this last Friday. Having a dog in school is really a good decision because he matters to me. Obi is his name, and he doesn't care if you're happy, sad, or mad. He will come up to you to play or get pets. I feel like he helps with my anxiety, anger, and sadness because he gives me a reason to get up and run and do something else and have something else to focus on. And that was Jackson Lester, one of our freshmen. And the last one we had, this was another one of our seniors that just graduated. I've been thinking about how to describe how Obi has affected our school. He sometimes is your only friend. He has this sixth sense to know when your mind isn't in the right place. It's hard for people in such a deep feeling to get their brain wrapped around anything else, yet Obi defies that rule. He makes the school a goal that you need to achieve. He makes trips to the offices less stressful. He makes the class he walks into brighten with smiles. His energy bursts into your energy. And that was Elora Seiler, another one of our seniors. Just to finish up here, some of the headlines off of the research. Dogs in the classroom provide both physical and emotional health benefits for students. National Association for Supervision and Curriculum, known as the ASCD, why schools are going to the dogs. A positive match, PAW, positive, win-win for students and staff. Positive effects of reading with adult tutor dog teams on elementary students, reading achievement and attitudes. Fido on faculty, lowering stress and increasing calm. Psychosocial and psychophysiological effects of human-animal interactions, the possible role of oxytocin which you get from interacting with animals. A calming influence, a real mood changer. School dogs dig up the testing gains. And the New York Department of Energy, Department of Energy, partnered with North Shore Animal League of America, which identified dogs with good temperaments and basic obedience to be partnered with district schools. So it's happening all across the country. We've got a new one coming in with our police force, Green River PD, with Officer Holzgraf. Just got a new puppy, and they're going to use that as a support dog when they do interviews with individuals. I visited with her. She's done a lot of research on the topic, and we would look to see if you would be willing to approve this for the remainder of the school year. If you have any questions?
Questions?
I'm sure you do.
Costs?
I would need a motion, please.
I would make a motion to approve the Expedition Academy Dog Pilot Program request.
Okay, moved by Brenda, second by Robin. Any questions?
So this would go through the remainder of the school year and then we'd reconsider.
At the end of the school year, yes. Probably June board meeting.
I would recommend, Dr. Foos, that we look possibly at a policy, or I don't know if a policy is necessary, but I guess what pops in my mind is liability. So if we approve this to continue on, those are some questions I'm going to need answered. So I don't know if you go through the attorney or what, but I mean, if the dog bites somebody, what happens? I mean, it can happen. So we need to be, I think, I guess I don't really have a problem if we continue this through the end of the school year, but before we do it next year, I think we need to dot some i's and cross some t's on this thing. Agree?
Agreed.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you
Ralph.
very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for bringing him tonight. Next item is consider approval of the new policy GBMB/KLB, second reading. Dr. Foos?
Chairman Core, trustees, Superintendent Behringer, thank you. I wanted to take just 15 seconds here and recognize Mary. She's been doing some online training for policies and doing some of that stuff and got some certifications. And it's really been nice to have that added knowledge there, not just having to call Hickey and Evans all the time. So thanks, Mary, for doing that. Same thing, unchanged from the first reading, staff grievance procedures. It's the last prong in a long process here where we have our complaint policy and we're capping it off with the grievance policy, and this thing has been vetted for quite a while and we're proud of the work. So thanks for your consideration on the second reading.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Robin, second by Brenda to approve GBMB/KLB on second reading. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, consider approval of the revision to policy HG-E, professional negotiation agreement, second reading.
On the professional negotiated agreement, the grievance procedure is outdated and we're taking it out in light of bringing on the new.
Okay, I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Brenda. Second by Robin to approve the revisions to policy HG-E. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next is superintendent and board comments. Let's start with Ashley.
Okay, I just wanted to do a quick graduation update. I'm excited that it looks like a normal graduation with lots of activities leading up to it. Thank you to the principals for working together, and hopefully the seniors will be able to come and through your schools. I think it's important for those younger kids to see these older ones and gives them something to work for all these years. And then there will be they're not going to have an all-night party this year, and or the banquet. They're going to combine it into an outside barbecue. So hopefully that week will hold up with weather in Wyoming in May, but that will be put on by parents. And then on that Wednesday, I'm gonna have to look. They have, they're gonna do the rolling parade again, which will be fun. We're also gonna do the Signs Up You Went to like last year too and celebrate these seniors. And then graduation will be on the 17th in the evening at the stadium. So again, hopefully the weather holds out, but I know that they did a survey and the seniors really wanted to be able to graduate all together and to be able to invite enough of their family and friends that they wanted to. And so that will give us the venue that they'll be able to have the most people there. So that's exciting. The budget task force, I think, has gone well. A lot of really good information in there. So thank you to everyone who puts the information together for us, helps us to understand better what's going on. And then just a happy spring break to everybody. It's congrats on finishing the third quarter. It has been an amazing year, and hopefully everyone enjoys their week off.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. Mentioned that Rochelle is online with us on Zoom, and she says she's a little bit under the weather. Rochelle, did you want to add anything to our conversation tonight?
I just want to give a shout out to the nursing staff again. They've done a lot of work this year. And I know a lot of them are doing stuff, you know, in addition, like Dr. Demaray said, calling people. So I hope that we're at the final push through, and thank you to them and everybody else that's been helping. And sorry, kid talking. And I hope everybody enjoys their break. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rochelle. Hope you get to feeling better. Robin.
I too would like to take this opportunity to thank our staff. I think they've been more than diligent to make the best and do the best for our students. It's so appreciated, and I think we're seeing that results. We just got some nice numbers coming at us, and I'm just so pleased and how effective they have been throughout this year. And I know it's been difficult for everybody. So I just sincerely thank them for working so hard.
All right. Thank you, Robin. David?
I would echo that. I was thinking back to the beginning of the school year, and I don't think very many people thought we would get this far, especially without missing any time. So thank you to the staff and everybody that's made that happen. The nurses, the custodial staff, the administration, the teachers, everybody. Thank you very much. Congratulations on getting this point, and we're going to make it. We're going to make it through this year. And it's been a challenge, but we're better people because of it. And our kids are better because of you. I've listened to a lot of things on the radio, read a lot of articles about the challenges that kids are facing because of not being in school, not being face to face. You look at the not only the learning things that have happened, the drop in learning, but also the mental challenges that many kids are facing because they haven't left their homes in months. And we were very fortunate to live where we do and have the good people here, the good staff that we do. And so thank you very much from all of us.
All right. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Brenda?
I'll echo that, but also add in the parents that have really been diligent in taking efforts for the masks, keeping them home when they're sick, that kind of thing. So thank you, everyone. I also had a graduate that approached me about featuring her book in some of our reading programs. So the book is Yeeb of Yore, and it may encourage youngsters to read more. So I don't know if anybody has read it, but this is from a graduate published author, Susie Cook. So I was going to share that with Superintendent Behringer to see if we could get.
Do we get
that
any
into-
royalties?
I'm sorry?
Do we get any royalties?
It's our
We need
graduate.
revenue.
Come on. I also just wanted to commend the high school. I know that we had some pretty harsh discussions not too long ago about the scores and the school improvement grant, and the improvements that we're seeing on those numbers are very much appreciated. I think the work that has gone on there is reflecting in the scores that we're seeing now. So thank you so much. I know we were pretty hard on those discussions last year, and it's nice to see them coming up. So, and hope you all have a great spring break. I hope we actually get spring again for a couple days.
Yeah, I think it's over. All right, Mark.
Cooper.
Again, thanks everybody for your hard work in keeping our schools open. Firm believer that that's a great thing, and appreciate the nurses. Everybody that knows me in my clinic knows nothing gets done without my nurse. I might as well stay home. And hope everybody has a good spring break.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. I just would echo everything that's been said here, and I hope Michelle Cordova never calls me again. if you know what I mean. Even though that was a long time ago, I still remember that phone call. I want to wish the basketball teams good luck this weekend. Tony, please pass that along from the board. Very proud of them. They both made it to state, and not many teams can say that. There's a lot of teams that only send in one and some none. So I think it's awesome that our basketball teams qualified for state. I believe our girls play at 9 o'clock Friday morning and our boys play at noon on Friday. So good luck to them. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the first ever girls soccer practice at Green River High School history. Blair, I'm not soccer, softball. Blair Imoni, the head coach, posted some pictures, and it's nice to see that sport going, and looks like a pretty good turnout. Tony, what was the numbers? Great. Sure. Good, good. Awesome. Good stuff there. I'm excited for the girls that get to participate in that sport. Craig, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I guess I would just like, we talked about the adults. I'd like to thank the resilience of the kids in our district. We went to the state wrestling tournament, and if you can pull off a state wrestling tournament, you can do anything. And I think Josh, the coach, talked about the sacrifices they had to make, and we saw the plays. My hat's off to the kids in this district for getting us this far.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to thank Craig and Alan and Jason for their hard work, and Greg at central office here, keeping us up to date on what's going on. I appreciate that. Those every week updates, I think, are important. I think all of us enjoy that, and appreciate that effort. All right. With that, we do not have an